school board, and one representative from common council to come up for the coin flip, please. No, you're kidding, come on. Brian, okay, come on, I need a council member. Gerald.
So who's gonna call it? Which one are you gonna call it? Oh, you do the honors.
There we go, they settled it.
Okay, that's a fail. Okay, now the NFL, made a mistake one time, so don't blame the guy that flipped it. Heads.
Heads. All right.
Who is it?
So he goes first.
No,
You can choose. You
Wanna
want
go
to go
that way or
first or second? You guys want to go first or second? First? Okay. And then school board, when it's your turn to come up, your nameplates are set up there already. I just asked for you to put them in the holders for me when you come up. We will take a break between, I've got coffee, water, donuts. Please help yourself. And thank you all for coming tonight. I mean, by the show of this room, it shows that we have got a lot of people who love this community, so thank you for coming.
Now, after that wonderful introduction, I want to make sure everybody knows I had nothing to do with the questions. Although at least one audience member did say, "Don't go easy on them." This is the Chamber's forum. I'm just here as a guest. So don't hold me accountable. All right. Are you ready? We're going to begin with the City Council. Each person will have 2 minutes for an introductory statement. Are we doing closing statements? And a closing statement. But because of the in-depth nature of the questions, if you choose, you will have up to 4 minutes to answer any and each of the questions. You don't have to use the 4 minutes, but you will be allowed. It'll be round robin. Are you ready? And as I understand it, Jessica Lane could not be here tonight. So, Linda Clark, you get to go first. 2 minutes, opening statement.
Can everyone hear me all right? Okay, good. My name is Linda Clark. I live in Milton. I live on Brown Drive. We moved here almost 20 years ago from Madison. We chose Milton because we had 3 kids, and this was a very nice, small, loving, close-knit community to bring my children to. And then I also did a lot of research on the school district. I researched my lot to make sure that I knew what was expected in my neighborhood. And we have truly enjoyed it the whole time that we've been here. I am a mother of 3. I have a daughter who is a teacher's coach and reading specialist in one of the school districts in Illinois. And then I have a Marine that is going to helicopter school right now. And then I have another Marine who is getting ready to go overseas. My husband is a farmer's agent. And we have always felt that we needed to have a community for our kids that were walkable and safe. And that is what we have found here in Milton. And that is also, the safety was one of the reasons that I actually began to become involved in the city. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda Clark. Jerry Elson, your 2-minute opening statement.
All right. Hi, I'm Jerry Elson. I am 26 years old. I'm a father of 2. I have a little girl, Addison, who's 2 years old, and a 7-year-old Gracie, who's in 1st grade. I just bought a house last May in Milton. I've lived here for just about 20 years, I believe. I'm just about to be a college graduate of Whitewater with a political science degree with emphasis on law. So my focus is I want to kind of take that experience and set it towards the city of Milton, the place where I grew up. I lived in this community pretty much my entire life, and I love the people in it, and I want to take care of you guys.
Thank you, Jerry. Ryan Holbrook, your 2-minute opening statement.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ryan Holbrook. I am currently on City Council and decided I wanted to run again this year. I have been in Milton for the last 7 years and very much enjoyed living in this city. I have 2 kids. I have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they love to cause lots of trouble. About 10 years ago, I graduated from college in UW-Platteville with a degree in industrial technology management with an emphasis in community integrated manufacturing. And since then, I've been working at a company called Huffcore in Janesville as an international team leader and project manager for the last 9 years. When I graduated college, my wife and I actually lived here for a short period of time with my wife's grandfather. And then we moved back to Stoughton for a short period of time. When we had enough money to actually buy a house, we decided to move to Milton because we loved it so much the first time. It was the only community we looked into, and we found a nice house here. And I've been loving it ever since the last 7 years that we've been here. History is one of my passions. For 16 years, I have been involved with the 2nd Wisconsin Company K, which is a Civil War reenacting group. During that time, I have risen to the rank of captain and president for that group, and I have been at those positions for the past 6 years. So I've been leading that group on and off the field. Also during that time, I started coordinating our Living History School Day that we do, and about 4 years ago we brought that to Milton. And it's the event itself, the school day portion, has been going for about 20 years. I've been involved, as I said, for about 6 years, and now it's been in Milton for 4 years. That event draws about 2,000 kids on a Friday, and then for the weekend portion, we actually have a nice living history here in town that has drawn lots of numbers over the years and has been very successful. I'm also an active member of the Milton STV Church, and I'm the games director for their Awana. Time up? Okay.
Just in case you missed it. Thank you, Ryan Holbrook. Nancy, if you can keep it under the bell, 2 minutes for Nancy Lauder.
Try that again.
Start over.
My name is Nancy Lauder. I've lived here for about 40 years. I had 3 kids go through the school system and they're grown and gone. What I loved when I moved to Milton is you could have the kids walk to school because I had a house in town. I had a son that lost a key on every street corner in Milton, and after subsidizing Ace Hardware to about 2 dozen keys, I decided it was pointless to lock the house, and nothing ever went missing. Maybe that was a comment on the house, but what I became involved with the Milton City Council maybe 12 years ago when we bought adjoining land that had been a 2-family house during the Milton College stay, and to rezone from 2-family to 1-family was more complicated than it should be. Then we got to the sidewalks. But anyway, I wish to make sure that Milton grows and stays a charming small town. My focus for this campaign is to get the preliminaries for the funding for the fire station set up and to have the public come to council meetings because we would love to have you involved more. So that is why I'm running again. Thank you very much. Please vote for me.
Thank you, Nancy Lauder. Jerry Elson, you will have the first question. Again, 4 minutes to answer, so you'll have plenty of time. And if you want me to repeat it, just ask, and anybody can do that. What specific steps would you follow to determine which budget areas to reduce should it become necessary? Which specific steps would you follow to determine which budget areas to reduce should it become necessary?
It depends on, first of all, we have to get the necessities that the city is responsible for. I think we'll go I mean, you got to keep the roads up. The fire commission, the police officers. Yeah, the main stuff. I think we should try to keep the taxes low and progress in other ways, innovative ways. Yeah.
All right, Jerry. It is always tough to get in front of a group like you and talk. It'll warm up throughout the night. Thank you, Jerry. Ryan Holbrook, what specific steps would you follow to determine which budget areas to reduce should it become necessary?
I'd say this is something that we've definitely had to deal with in the last couple of years that I've been on the city council. First step I would take is I would actually see what the city staff's advice is. They live and breathe the budget every day. They work really hard to put together that budget as well. So they typically would know really what is inside that budget and where maybe some areas we can cut are. The past few years, they've laid out nice areas we can look at if we had to reduce out some of the money, and they've basically provided options from there. From there, it's a matter of what do we need versus what do we want. In the past couple of years, we've had to make tough choices between do we want to spend some money on the nonprofits in the city, or do we want to buy an additional trailer for public works. And from there, it's a matter of discussion between the city council and trying to work out which is the best option to go with. And it's been contentious, I know, the last 2 years, and will probably remain contentious as we work on tighter and tighter restraints. But instead, I would start with, again, the staff's advice, and then from there, see what the other people's opinions are and narrow it down.
All right, thank you, Ryan. Nancy Lauder, what specific steps would you follow to determine which budget areas to reduce should it become necessary?
Ryan has stated where I would begin would be to ask the department heads, because they know what new mandates have come in that they cannot avoid, and they have in their back pocket a list of what is possible to cut. So I would ask the city department heads what their recommendations would be as my very first comment. It's always interesting to find out what they feel their needs are greatest. So no, I would wait and ask the department heads and go from there and keep funding for the fire department high on my list. Thank you.
Finally, Linda Clark.
Thank you.
It's always easier to go last. Ask Jerry.
Yes, that is correct. I also would check with our city staff. Our staff they are all professionals. They know what they need to do and they know what they need to have in order to accommodate their departments. Besides that, just as Ryan said, the city council would have to make a choice between needs or wants. There's a lot of things in the city that we would all like to have, and everybody has a different opinion. We need to work on a variety of ways to fund all of our services in the city. Where would I begin from that point in time? Before I went and made a reduction in any of our city services or our quality of life things, such as the Milton House and the Gathering Place, I would have to go out to you. I would have to go out to the neighborhoods and I would have to talk to people and see what do you think you are willing to give up, because this is where we're at. It's one of the things that I believe is very important in getting public input. And I think that if it really got down to the nitty gritty of it, I'm not going to take anything away from our police department or our fire department. Our buildings are well established. I know that we can look at other department areas where we can do shared services if need be in order to accommodate any decrease that we need. But I'm afraid that it would have to be those. I would start with things like the bulky trash pickup and and the street sweeping and those sort of things. But first, I would talk to you after I speak to the staff.
All right, Ryan Holbert, you will be answering this question first. Visiting CEO types and others who are considering moving or locating their businesses here may ask this type of question. What is going on in Milton? Did I do that right?
You did it perfect.
Thank you. How, as a representative of the city, would you answer this?
I guess I would say that we are having lively debates in the city to discuss the future of different aspects of the city itself. Say that, our school district is, there's lively debate in the city that people are talking about schools, which is nice to actually see that people are talking about schools. Sometimes that seems to get lost. And so it's nice that that's happening. I'd also say that, while we have this nice discussion about schools, the city is also a great place to move to because of all the other things that we have in this city as well. We have, again, back to the schools, we have some of the best schools in the state, I think. We also have a thriving community that's bringing in new businesses. We've got a new housing subdivision we're working on as well, which would be living places for new staff. And I believe that our city can also, process, move through the process of bringing in new business into the city faster than other communities like, say, Janesville. Just because we're not as big of a government, so it can move through our committees faster and fast track some things. Which right now, for a business owner, a lot of it's about trying to get their new facility built in a hurry so they can start producing what they need to start making more money. So that's one, I think, aspect that is nice about our city. And I think that while we have a lot of lively discussion, that's actually, I think, a good sign. It means that we care about our community. And if we didn't have that discussion, we just let things go as they were, it means we don't care about our community. So this is a community that cares. And it'd be nice, this is making it a nice community to move to.
Thank you, Ryan. Nancy Lauder, visiting CEO types and others who are considering moving or locating their businesses here may ask this type of question. What is going on in Milton? How, as a representative, would you answer this?
Well, it shows that Milton is open to discussion as to what they value. I view it as a positive and constructive discussion because you need to evaluate for the whole city how your taxes are going to go. After that, it is sort of like I came and ran for city council because of zoning issues that I couldn't get resolved. It is nice to see people working through the issues. We haven't quite gotten to answers yet, but it shows that Milton is working through the issues and discussing them. So I would congratulate the visiting CEO as to looking where people are interested in what's going on. Thank you.
Linda?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Visiting CEO types and others who are considering moving or locating their businesses here may ask this type of question. What is going on in Milton? How, as a representative of the city, would you answer?
We have a lot of things going on in the city of Milton, and we have a lot to be proud of in this city. We have a library that is out of this world that brings in all kinds of people from the area. Our library has activities for people of all ages. I would also remind them that we also have transportation through the bus company back and forth to Milwaukee if need be for their employees. And then I would also make sure that they're aware that we are in a very prominent location with several educational institutions around us. We have UW Rock County, we have UW Whitewater, we have Blackhawk Tech, and any of those institutions are looking and ready to train for any future business that we might have. And then I would also make sure that I added in that that we are full of recreation in the school district and in the city. There's always something for people to do, and we are open to new ideas. We are, like everybody else has said, we're a city that discusses things, and that's exactly what we would do. And then I would also let them know that we also work very well with the towns around us and the school district. And I think that those are important things that somebody coming in would want to know. We also have a very good workforce in this area, and that is one of the pluses for us.
Jerry Elson, visiting CEO types and others who are considering moving or locating their business here may ask the type of question, what is going on in Milton? How, as a representative of the city, would you answer?
I would say we gotta focus on our strengths. Like, we have a lot of things going for us. We have a pretty good location. We got the new bypass. It only takes an hour, maybe hour and a half to get to Milwaukee. We got 59 right there. My wife works in Madison. It takes her 45 minutes to get to work. We're in a pretty good location for the big cities there, and so we have a good historical department. We got the Milton House over there. We bring in a bunch of people. We did with Wally Fest, the 4th of July. That brings in a ton of people. I would say we have a huge room for growth with the industrial park here. We got a lot of land just sitting there waiting for people to build on it. And then I'd also say we got like Linda said, the colleges. We got Whitewater right down the street that has plenty of kids that are looking for job opportunities, and this would be a great place to raise a family and send their kids to good schools. I think this would be a great place to have them have a business.
All right, Nancy, you'll get the first chance at the final of the 3 regular questions. We may have other questions from the audience. If not, feel free to offer them.
No, there's not.
All right. You have the opportunity to take out a full-page ad in the New York Times. Like Al's going to ever pay for that. But, sorry, Al.
50-50 with the chamber.
You are allowed 3 words or concepts that capture the essence of Milton to the world. What are your 3 words and why? I'm going to say that again. You have the opportunity to take out a full-page ad in the New York Times. You are allowed 3 words or concepts that capture the essence of Milton to the world. What are those 3 words? And why?
Easy question. A full page ad in the Times. I've taken out space in the Gazette, and I stand in awe of the price that must be for the Times. 3 concepts. Milton's whole charm is that it is a small town, and for small town Midwest living, it is in a location between Madison and Milwaukee and Janesville. And it's a 2-hour drive to O'Hare that is very convenient for people moving here. The other next point I would make is that it's fiscally solvent. We have maintained quite a good hold on our costs. We have refinanced so that our debt load will be going down. We're in good repair. We have a new renovated library. We have a new public works. We have a new city hall and police station, and we're working on the fire station. The third one, I guess I'd have to talk about Midwest charm, because I am not clearly thinking of what other recommendation beside the values that a small town has. But I would like to take more time to answer that one, but I thank you very much for the question.
So location, infrastructure, and charm. All right, outstanding. All right, Linda Clark, you have the opportunity to take out a full-page ad in the New York Times. You're allowed 3 words or concepts that capture the essence of Milton to the world. What are your 3 words and why?
I'm going to say that my 3 words would be history, because this is where we began with the Civil War and the Milton House. I'm going to say fun, because we are full of fun in this area. I haven't met anybody that isn't good company and doesn't like to go out and enjoy doing all of the things that we do, like Civil War Living History Days and Wally Fest, our show choirs, all of those types of things. And then I would say quaint. I think that we have a nice, quaint area. It's quiet, it's peaceful, and it's beautiful, because we're also on the Ice Age Trail.
Thank you, Linda. Jerry Elson, you have the opportunity to take out a full-page ad of the New York Times. You're allowed 3 words or concepts that capture the essence of Milton to the world. What are your 3 words and why?
Well, I would focus on my first one would be how this is a tight-knit community. I feel like no matter how many times I screw up, this community always welcomes me back with open arms, it seems. I would like, the next one would be I would focus on progression. This city, just from the time I've been here, how much has progressed with all the work, the bypass, we could say the schools, how they've improved in their technology. We could say all the festivals we have, and and then the third one I would focus on work ethic of this community. Our community works really hard, and I understand that, and I'm a part of it. I've grown up through it, and I feel like our community should reflect that. And it's no different than on the wrestling mat. All right.
3 words or concepts and why?
I would say historical, cultural, progressive. Historical, because we are a city that values its history, where it came from. We have a National Historic Landmark here that we value highly, and I don't think I've seen schools that focus so much or allow to focus so much on historical or on history itself of our country as I have seen in Milton. I would say cultural, because this community has so much going on that it brings, so much to the city. There's so many cultural activities. We have arts. We have people. We have all of our students who create beautiful art that gets displayed at the Milton House. We have music festivals here. We have historical festivals here, and we even have plays here from time to time. We cover pretty much most of the bases of the arts here in the city. And again, that's something that's also very rare. I think in this day and age, in a small community like this, it's incredibly rare. And you almost have to go to a major city to see so many different cultural activities as you have going on here. Throughout the summer, it always seems like something is going on that you can do. And I would say progressive, because the city, though we do have kind of a larger focus than most on our history, we also think towards the future very heavily in this city as well. We're looking to see how we can expand our industrial park and the businesses that are there. We're looking to see how we can also, have more people move here, but also at the same time keep that small town charm that we have here in the city. So we always seem to be moving forward too.
All right, thank you, Ryan. We're lucky enough to have a couple of engaged citizens who have some questions of their own. Linda, this will be yours to begin. We'll give you 2 minutes for these. It is often said that a community schools drive the local economy and bring in businesses and families. What will the council do to support Milton schools?
I am very happy to say that I have worked with the school and with the parking lots that we just did for East and West. And then we also have the kids in the school programs. They come out and they're the docents in the Milton House, and they're the kids that come out and help over at the YMCA and MACC. I believe that as long as we can understand what each other's goals are for any particular issue that that person might be referring to, I believe that we should be able to work together. And I also think it's important that we work with the local towns that are around us. The city council, we have our limit to exactly how we can work with the school district. An example of that would have been the decision that we made about the last referendum. We do look at other, I look at other municipalities, other school districts, and see what they do to help each other. But I know that we're already working together with the library, and it's very possible that we could be doing a lot more other than just the library with the school district. We used to share baseball and the swim and soccer and football before that big change was made. And it's worked out well with our sports program the way it is. I'm real happy about that.
All right, Jerry, it is often said that a community schools drive the local economy and bring in businesses and families. What will the council do to support Milton schools?
I mean, we can try to work together with the school board as best as possible. I think there's plenty of avenues where we can compromise and come up with ideas, shoot around. I know the value, I mean, I'm a father of two. I want to see the schools improve and be great just like they've always been. Yeah, just compromise and working together. That's all you can do.
What will the council do to support Milton schools?
While they are two separate entities, we do have to work together since we share the same community. I would say over the last few years, we have tried to work with them as much as we can on things like, as Linda said, the parking lots at East and West. We've looked at the traffic patterns around, say, East to make sure that even after the change, the traffic was moving properly and safely. And I think that as they move forward and we move forward, it always makes sense for us to work with them in what areas that we can. But again, there are a lot of areas that we can't be involved in that they are involved in. But there are areas we have commonalities as well. So it's just always good to work with each other.
And Nancy.
Would you repeat the question, please?
Sure thing. It is often said that a community schools drive the local economy and bring in businesses and families. What will the council do to support Milton schools?
Well, the Milton schools have a separate entity from the city council, but I believe that we are working in mutual aid to each other. We have put a parking lot in Shilberg Park, which I am sure that many of the sports people use. We work together as best as our abilities will do, and I look forward to continuing that. It's more mutual aid because the schools have now gotten Blackhawk Technical and other fabulous employers to come in, which is part of the mutual aid for schools. We just need to look forward and be positive and work together. Thank you.
Jerry, you get to start this question. 2 minutes. How important to you is it that all council members take advantage of seminars offered them on team building?
I'd say it's pretty important. I guess we got to work as a team. It's a unit up here. We're supposed to represent the people, and I think we should be effective as a team.
Yeah, either you do or you don't. Ryan Holbrook, how important is it to you that all council members take advantage of seminars offered them on team building?
I think it's a great idea. It does help bring the council together and helps them to work well with each other. We may have differences from time to time, but it helps keep us together so we can make the right decision for those in the city. So it just helps bring us together.
How important is it to you to take advantage of seminars offered on team building?
The outside psychologists that write some of these team building and skill building have a fresh perspective, which is very interesting for the outside seminars. For the bi-weekly talks, I would suggest to have a pool of questions submitted that we would like to discuss. That would enlarge our understanding of how to do a good team building. But no, the outside seminars have been very interesting. Thank you.
And Linda Clark.
Mayor Welch has done an excellent job of bringing team building to the city council, and I can say that because I believe that that is what we need to have. At the end of a meeting, when you know that you've had a discussion where there's been a disagreement, it's always good to have the end of that meeting, and we're going to walk out of this room and we're going to still be speaking to each other, and we're still going to laugh, and we're still going to smile. And the team building also helps us to get to know each other a little better. And we are a team. We're working together, and everybody needs to know their coworkers. I think that the seminars are great.
I know where I work, team building seminars are usually in bars and restaurants, but this works out great for you, Jerry, because Ryan Holbrook will be the first to have his closing statement of 2 minutes.
Over the past 2 years on city council, I have very much enjoyed being a part of it and being involved in the Community Development Authority, the Historic Preservation Commission, Public Safety, and Public Works. I've learned a lot while on city council about how the city works, about how government works, and I'd like to continue putting that to good use. Also, over the years, I've gained a lot of experience in leadership roles throughout my job, my hobby, and also my time on city council. My experience in leadership positions has given me a willingness and ability to collaborate with others to get things done. I have always enjoyed working with others to complete a common goal. I also have a positive attitude and willingness to help others. One thing I find about Milton is that it is a city that appreciates history through organizations like the Milton House. It is a city that is not afraid to look to the future. I love the city I call home, and I find it to be a great place to raise my family in. I want to see the city continue to grow and thrive. Further, I want to be a part of what helps it to do so.
All right, Nancy Lauder, your 2-minute closing statement.
Well, I have worked on the Milton City Council, and what I see is we are developing a pattern of being able to present the pros and cons of each discussion and evaluate them. That is what the purpose of a council is to evaluate the differences in thought process. What I would like going forward to do is to focus the council on our underdeveloped fire department and go forward with more research and how to fund that and when to fund that, and set a schedule so that we can work on that as our next big project. But as for Milton, it has been a wonderful place to be. It has a great Chamber of Commerce. They do this for us. It has the gathering place. It has the Milton House. It has a very good sense of community. And I would like to be on the council for another term. And so I'm asking you to vote for me. Thank you very much.
Linda Clark.
When I started my duration with the city, I actually started out on committees. I was asked to be on the park committee because I was so close to Crossridge Park, and that park was being developed at that time. When At the time, our city ordinance stated that if you were the chairperson of parks, that you were also to be a part of the tourism committee and then the zoning committee. And so I learned a lot of things about the ongoings and the intermediates of the city before I actually ran for council the first time that I did. And what I have tried to do in my time on the Milton City Council is take your concerns and bring them to the council so that we can get them addressed. That to me is the important part of my job. I am here because you put me here, not because I have something else that I want to do. Therefore, for me, it's important for me to hear from you. And with each questionable issue that we come across, I always try to make it a point and go out and speak to enough people that I can get a good sense of exactly what people are thinking and which way we should go. And I'd like to continue to do that. I want to move Milton forward. We really cannot go back. The world around us is moving a lot faster, and we have to stay with it. And I would like to be a part of that. I also think that it's very important as a council member that we also have training. I have attended the municipal conferences each year and any other training that is open to me so that I can better serve you. Thank you.
Sorry, I dozed off. Jerry Ellison, you get the last word.
All right, so I want to focus on unifying the community. Like this is a team effort, not just up here with us, but it's you guys too. We have to come together, make successful compromises. You guys come first. What I bring to the table is I believe creativity. I'm going to school now for just 4.5 years in political science, where I've learned different places, different councils. I've written papers on some of the creative stuff they're doing, and I think we could do some of that and keep it in a decent budget. I have a great devotion to this community. I've left before and came back, and I couldn't imagine being anywhere else. And then I have my future for my kids. I want my kids to grow up in a place that I like, the place I grew up in. Yeah, and setting goals and hitting them. That's what yeah.
All right, thank you, Jerry. Again, I want to mention the fact that Jessica Lane could not be here tonight because she's out of town on work, but I'm told she will be offered the questions and a chance to respond via the Chamber's Facebook page, so if you want to see what she has to say. But I think is like a UW Whitewater test, she should have a time limit when she starts to end, so it's all fair in that regard. On behalf of all the residents, I want to thank the four of you for running. It is no small feat to run and or serve in public office. It takes no small amount of courage, time, and effort. So I want to thank you on behalf of the community again tonight.
We'll take a 5-minute break.
5-minute break.